Yeah, so I was just like, I still had like more treats for like flipping it, and like I was just like watching Poetic Justice. Then I heard something, watching the sequence of the movie and the soundtrack. So I had fucking did a flip off of that, and I just got so much flack about it. You know what I mean? But I flipped it, and so I was like, I ain't even got a sample. You know what I mean? I was just like, I could fucking, still got treats. I still got shit, cards under the sleeve. So without even changing it, I'm like, I would go ham. So I had did next track, and that shit was like, man, that shit like light years. I can't even motherfucking tell you the damn keyboard work on that. And I mean keyboard, like, you know what I mean? Like, I just flipped it. Not even like to flip out on that motherfucker. I just was like, let me just throw something in this motherfucker. It was just like an edge, a challenge or something. So I did the shit. And I laid the track. Then I did the vocals, and motherfuckers still couldn't motherfucking. I was like, I'm done. This shit light years. You ain't gonna catch up to this shit like hit. And that wasn't even with no practice. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't even fucking practice none of that shit. So just to take it all the way up there, I had to, bring it back down. So I still got like shit. So I did the fucking plain one. Cause that's what they sound like. When you sleep or some shit like that. So I had did that shit. And I said, let me just bring it down, back down to earth and shit. Because motherfuckers gonna be like, God damn. And I did use a keyboard for the bass line and shit like that. Because I play the bass. But I just wanna see, like to fucking do it off the keyboard like you playing it and shit like that. Because sometimes your finger work is not fast enough and shit like that. So you get better finger work on the keyboard. So that's what I was like. I just took it there. Once you played it, how heavy the chords is on the bass, you hit the keyboard, it's like lighter and shit like that. So I just went and just flipped out on that motherfucker and just took that motherfucker there. So motherfuckers are not gonna fucking catch up to that shit. You know what I mean? But I played that motherfucker like a bass. It's not out of the ordinary. They probably catch up. But they ain't catching up with that motherfucker no time soon. Not compressed. And I played that motherfucker all the way through. And there was no punching, there's nothing. I was just like, I got some shit. I still got some shit. So I was like, this motherfucker, it's like a fucking 300-pound gorilla and shit. And you think you doing something or getting away with some shit, and you really not. So the motherfuckers could sit there and be like, well, I've done, it's like motherfuckers think they accomplish and shit. It's like there's no way in fucking hell you accomplish. You ain't nowhere getting it done. You know what I mean? It's 300-pound fucking gorilla. You gotta get the grinding. So I was just on the 11th album, and I'm like, man, you know, after all that shit, I was like, man, let me flip out on these motherfuckers. They must really think I'm motherfucking bullshitting. I ain't motherfucking bullshitting. I ain't playing. And these motherfuckers, you know, they fucking labels within the label want to start tripping and shit like that. So that gave me even more fucking edge because I'm like, I don't even know why you even want to fucking do it. But, you know, that's how it is. And then, you know, they think they want to come up and shit. And actually not. So they try to do some slick shit, you know what I mean? Like really put a fucking fraction on my shit. Like I did some shit when all I did was my goddamn job, you know what I mean? So the fucking label, they gonna throw a fraction on my shit. And I'm like, why you even fucking do this shit? And then the shit with Hawk shit, that shit pissed me the fuck off. So it wasn't even like a shine type of thing. This shit going on for real. It's like big business. You got corporations like mad at you and shit. So I'm like, fuck you getting mad for? You know what I mean? This is what you do when you go and do cutting edge shit. You know what I mean? You take it somewhere and then they sit there and be like, well, you know, it should be the same and stuff like that, or you know, not even change the format of it, you know what I mean? Like I try to keep the shit basic because I'm not dissing no other producers and shit like that, but they format is from R&B and shit like that. Whoever came up with that music theory, that motherfucker getting trampled on, you know what I'm saying? So I wasn't even gonna trip off of that, but just the labels just fucking jealous. And then they're successful, you know what I mean? Like, what the fuck is wrong with y'all motherfuckers? So they try to throw a fraction on my shit for doing my fucking job. And then they gonna withdraw my shit. Well, I mean, you know, withdraw it. Because I fucking cussed them out. I straight up cussed them out. I came hood with that shit. I ain't fucking playing no fucking early in the morning. You ain't trying to hear no fucking bullshit. You know what I'm saying? I went to fucking court. The motherfuckers let me go. They threw that shit out the fucking court. You know what I mean? I'm like, you gotta be yourself. You know what I'm saying? You, no matter where the fuck you are, or some shit like that, you gotta be yourself and you gotta tell motherfuckers how the fuck you really feel. Your first instinct is your motherfucking right instinct. And I snapped on the motherfuckers. They withdrew they shit. So I'm like, nigga, I'm going through it. You know what I mean? Like, for real. So I'm just in a dark place. And then, you know, you gonna flip on me with this bullshit. This some petty shit. And I did my job, you know what I mean? Niggas got artists. I'm finding artists. All this shit. Nothing. I'm doing the fucking album. I'm like doing this shit day by day. I ain't even like ain't going deep. You know what I mean? Like I taking this shit slow. And then I ain't even like pull out guitars, none of this shit yet. You know what I mean? Like I really just use the fucking keyboard. Nah, these niggas really motherfucking ain't digging like they really digging. And I got some shit. You know what I mean? Like half the shit that I'm using is just like contemporary shit, which it should be. And then, you know, you just add your little edge to it or whatever motherfucking angle you got to it. And whatever that producer uses, that's what he uses. I use a hip hop format. I'ma always use that shit. That shit right there, that shit now, that format not fucking, I'm not fucking with that shit. You know what I mean? So, Now the motherfuckers are quiet, you know what I mean? Like I done fucking space shuttled that shit. And then here come the 11th album.